Alright, it's time for the Las Vegas weekend review. Let's jump right into it, folks. So, let's start this weekend off with the truck race. Truck race is actually pretty entertaining. There was a bit that happened. Of course, 10 spots still up for grabs with 2 races left in the round of 10. In this race, though, Austin Hill was able to come through in the clutch and finish a race. And Hill gets the win. So Austin Hill gets his second win of the season. And Austin Hill will be the only driver that enters Talladega really safe. So Austin Hill is the only driver now locked into the round of 8 entering Dega, the cutoff race. But of course, I'm showing Creed, Brett Moffitt, Saint Smith, and Grant Enfinger all had solid points runs. Gillen continued to struggle, along with Eckes and Rhodes. So it's going to be a pretty interesting cut line entering Talladega next week. In the truck side, 2 drivers will be sent to Elimination Station. And 8 will move on. So yeah, interesting truck race. So Xfinity. Xfinity was probably one of the worst races of the weekend. Xfinity race, nothing really happened. It was really the Chase Briscoe show. Chase started on pole, dominated from start to finish. And Chase Briscoe really had no competition all night and really never looked back. So Chase Briscoe cruised to another dominant win, his 8th win of the year. Jesus Christ, Stewart-Haas is dominating everything except trucks this year. So yeah, Briscoe wins and he automatically moves on to the round of 8 with 2 races to go with the win. So now, entering Dega, there are still 11 spots up for grabs. And Dega is going to be an interesting race. Well, Cindric, Gregson, and Allgaier all had solid point runs. Haley Jones and company all struggled, including Chastain. Brandon Brown had a bad run, which was expected because he's in a crapmobile car. And Terrible Herps was once again terrible. So yeah, gonna be interesting at Talladega, but we've seen before Talladega pull some weird shit off. So yeah, really, for a lot of drivers' points gaps, nobody is safe. But yeah, also this week was the F1 race in Russia. It's Sochi, the shithole track. So this race really got interesting when right off the bat, Lewis Hamilton got 2 5-second time penalties. Beep. Because Lewis Hamilton was illegally practicing the race starts when he wasn't. And the crazy thing is that Lewis Hamilton was told that it was okay for him to do that. Turned out the lie detector determined that was a lie. I wonder if this is all part of the great Mercedes master plan. But after those penalties, Lewis ended up in the hole. But Lewis was able to rebound and finish 3rd. But at Russia today, the day belonged to Valtteri Bottas, who gets his 2nd win of the season. So Valtteri gets his 1st win since Austria back in July. So yeah, Valtteri now with 2 wins on the year, but Valtteri is still in a 44-point hole behind Hamilton. And he's running out of time in races. He's quit. So if Valtteri really wants to show that he could be a championship contender, then he's going to need to win more races and hope Lewis struggles. And he needs to stop dying on command to Lewis. At least with Valtteri contending with Lewis for the championship, we won't get those stupid Valtteri it's James moments. But yeah, and before we get to the Cup race, we also found out that this week, that Jimmy Johnson will be running a special paint scheme this week. Let's take a look at the paint scheme. Hendrick Motorsports failed. They put Jimmy Johnson's old Black Ally paint scheme up instead of the actual paint scheme. What an epic fail. Hendrick really needs to get their shit together. Wait a minute. You're telling me this is the fucking tribute paint scheme this week? What the fuck is this? That just looks like Jimmy Johnson's normal Black Ally car with a couple minor differences. Like, look at that photo. That paint scheme looks almost like this, but with a couple minor differences. I'm giving that tribute paint scheme a 2 out of 10 for unoriginality and pure laziness. You better give Jimmy at least a half-decent paint scheme entering the Phoenix for his final race. So, yeah. And also, there was the big allegations this week for Hendrick Motorsports. About Hendrick going past the exceeded amount of time you're allowed in the wind tunnel. Hendrick even admitted it to NASCAR. And NASCAR, over punish, drops the hammer on Hendrick to the tune of $100,000 fine and a loss of 10 hours of wind tunnel time for 2021. So in other words, Hendrick Motorsports cheated and got an equivalent of a slap on the wrist. And I know you won't want an apology from me for it, so I'll go ahead and give you an apology.
Those affected, I want to say, we are deeply sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're sorry. I'm deeply sorry. Sorry.
And all I say to NASCAR is that the best you got? You really think that penalty is going to stop Hendrick from doing it again? Like $100,000? That's a fucking joke, right? Rick Hendrick is a multi-millionaire. I'm pretty sure he can afford that shit easily. That shit funny to me. Now, I'm sorry, folks. When Hendrick cars are testing on R&D in the wind tunnel, we don't keep track of time. We keep testing until we fucking get it right. No matter how long it takes. Yep, folks, you busted us. We're exposed. You got us. Hendrick Motorsports are cheaters. You got us good. I finally admit it. The truth is out. We the Eddie, and you know what? We're gonna keep doing it, because we the Eddie Guerreros in NASCAR. We lie, we cheat, we steal. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Come on, mamacita, let's go. Yeah, we cheat alright. Here's the secret, folks. Hendrick Motorsports has secret cameras installed at Chip Ganassi, Stuart Haas, Joe Gibbs, Penske, and Roush Fenway, and all the teams. We spy on your best cars to learn how the hell your cars are so fast. We especially put a lot of spying time on Harvick and Hamlin's cars. We spy right on them. We wonder how the hell you get your cars to be so damn fast. We take what you do with your cars, and we're going to apply it to our cars. We're going to throw it all on Chase Elliott's car. We're all going to throw it on soon-to-be Kyle Larson's 48 car. Because since it's rumored that Kyle Larson is getting the 48 car, we're also going to do it to Byron's car, too. We're going to put all that focus in for 2022, since 2021 is a throwaway year. And all the focus is on 2022 for the Gen 7 car. We're going to put our focus and attention on that car and put everything there and there. And little do you all know, at Hendrick Motorsports, we have a secret room in the back where we keep all the tapes from all the cameras in all the team shops that we spy on you with, and we put it to our cars. We spy. Because Hendrick Dynasty 3.0 is coming. And there's not a damn thing you can do to stop it. The evil dynasty and the evil empire is coming back whether you like it or not. And we don't give a damn who we piss off. So all you Hendrick haters can do us a favor and suck my balls. Because you ain't stopping the inevitable. Because we run this bitch. You've all been on borrowed time. And we want that time back. Especially Kyle Busch this year. Because for Kyle's recent championships, here's why Kyle's been struggling. You want to know why Kyle Busch has struggled this year? Let me explain. Let Uncle C-Rad explain it to you. And to all the Busch sexuals. You see, after Kyle Busch's second championship last year, the racing gods came down to Kyle Busch and JGR and demanded payment for those two championships. And of course, Kyle Busch and the Busch sexuals, being the arrogant fucking asswipes that they are, they all refuse to bend the knee to the gods. The one thing you never do to the racing gods. You don't refuse to bend the knee. Whatever the gods say they want, you give it to them without debate. So, of course, the gods took exception to the Busch sexuals and Kyle Busch's act of treason, and the gods are cruel bastards when you piss them off, and they struck you down ferociously, which is why you've gone 0-30. Spoiler alert, Kyle Busch did not win Las Vegas. And it's why you're now below the cutoff line. Also, spoiler alert. And it's why you've had bad races all year and struggle. And why you're almost why you're the number 3 car at JGR. You got your fucking Reigns Busch sexuals, now pay up, motherfuckers. Rent steal you, some bitch. But yeah, I think it's time to have the spy cam come back in business. So yeah, and to all the Detroit Lions fans that want to come in here and try and shit talk me after the turn Sunday, I don't have time for you peasants. I don't have time for you bitches. I don't care I don't care what you have to say. I go after who I want when I want. So all you fake ass bandwagon bitches can sit down and shut the fuck up. And the same goes to all you Henrik haters. You can all sit down and sit your bitch asses down and shut your bitch asses up. But anyway, let's talk about the Vegas race. So this race actually was pretty interesting. It was a lot of comers and goers. You know, a lot of different pit strategy. You know, when to pit, who would gamble to stay out and hope for a caution goes their way. You know, it was an interesting race, without a doubt. Yeah, and within a couple years, Vegas went from being one of the most boring races on the calendar to now being one of its most interesting races on the calendar. You know, the main cars that dominated tonight were Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. Harvick struggled all night. And the big blows, Austin Dillon, Quint Boyer, and Almirola all had issues, including Austin Dillon having a fan belt break on his car. So those 3 ended up in holes. Kyle Busch ended up with damage with Logano, as Kyle Busch continues his feud over Logano after Logano got in his way and cost Kyle Busch a win. Kyle took exception to that and put Logano in the wall, while damaging his own car in the process. Oh look, Busch and Logano, the 2 drivers I hate the most right now, are about to feud each other. Honestly, I hope both of them take each other out of the chase this round. You're asking, whose side do I pick in this? Neither. Fuck Kyle Busch. Fuck Joey Logano. Fuck both of them. They both suck. There's my side. I have standards. I'm not lowering the bar for either. Fuck them both. They both suck. So yeah, but the most interesting thing came late in the race, when Kurt Busch would stay out and gamble during the green flag pit cycle, hoping for a caution to come out. And it did come out, to the tune of Jimmy Johnson blowing a right rear tire and spinning out. But this comes with a catch. Jimmy Johnson was able to stay out, though, and pit with the leader, so Jimmy stays on the lead lap and keeps his track position. Since at the time of that spin, Jimmy Johnson was the last car in the lead lap. And yes, folks, you got it right. Jimmy Johnson cheated, all right. He manipulated the results so he can steal track position. There you go, Jimmy. You're finally getting the turn. You're finally understanding the way I'm trying to teach you. Yes, Jimmy. You're pulling the Eddie Guerrero. Lie, cheat, steal. Lie, cheat, steal. Yes. Now all you gotta do, Jimmy, is use those 3 to get your way to a win this year. Yes, Jimmy. You also do that in IndyCar too, and you can get a win there too. Yes, Jimmy. Embrace your inner Eddie Guerrero. Embrace yourself and join the dark side. Yes. Yes, Jimmy. I like it. I like your ways, Jimmy. You know the way. Yes. That is the 7-time champion I remember. Hail the new king, Jimmy Johnson. Hail the new king. Yay. But anyway, getting back on track there. So yeah, it came at a good time. So yeah, Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman all ended up at the back of the pack as a result of this. Which ended up being a race for the win battle between Kurt Busch and Matt DiBenedetto. DiBenedetto also pulled the gamble and it worked to his advantage. So in the end, we get a great battle for the win between Kurt Busch and DiBenedetto, since Hamlin and Bowman were too far back to catch up to him. Chase Elliott would actually struggle on the restart and end up falling back. But in the end, after a great battle, including going to overtime, Kurt Busch was able to hold off a late charge from Matt DiBenedetto, and Kurt Busch gets a win. After 20 years of racing at Las Vegas, Kurt Busch finally gets a win at his home track. Thank God. I was getting sick and tired of Kurt Busch choking at Vegas all the time. Kurt finally wins at home. One problem, Kurt. You had no fans to celebrate with this time. I don't care what anyone says. Kurt Busch deserves to be celebrating in front of a live crowd. Poor Kurt, I feel for you. And also, Matt DiBenedetto suffers another heartbreaking loss. I don't know, folks. Which loss is more heartbreaking? Folks, which loss is more heartbreaking for DiBenedetto? The 2019 Bristol night race or Vegas 2020? I'm gonna say Bristol because I'm gonna say the Bristol one. But yeah, let's debate that one. Actually, I don't really care. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, Kurt Busch gets the win and he moves on to the round of 8. And so he's the only driver safe entering the Talladega and the Charlotte Roval, since we got the 2 biggest wild cards in the chase next. So yeah, this chase is about to get a little unpredictable. Especially with how Dega was back in the summer, back in June. Since next week we go to Dega, Bubba Wallace's home track. And I wonder if the Boomers are going to continue to have their little shit fit again over the fucking Confederate flag band. Let's be real, it's been almost 3 months, and the Boomers are still salty. It's been almost 3-4 months, and the Boomers are still salty over the Confederate flag ban. This point, grow the fuck up, you fucking sensitive babies. Like, goddamn Boomers, you're supposed to be our fucking elders, and you're acting all fucking sensitive like snowflakes. What a bunch of fucking babies. I'm fucking 22 and I act more mature than all you boomer bitch asses. But yeah. You know, by the way, for everyone when I mentioned Larson in the 48, I know you're all saying, but that video you did back in May, where you called the Larson to the 48 rumors a hoax. Here's what I have to say to that video. Rewatch that video, and see the part in that video where I said I didn't want Larson in the 48 car? Guess what? I lied. I played yous. I always wanted Larson in that 48 car. I played all yous for a bunch of saps. Because this fan base is so gullible. And that they always buy. And that they can buy and believe anything they see is anything they watch is real. And I suckered yous in. Y'all got played. Yeah, and y'all better hope we don't get Larson, because if Larson ends up being the driver to 48 next year, then Henrik Dynasty 3.0 will be in full effect. As Chase Elliott will have the perfect running mate to dominate the NASCAR world for the next 20 years. You're about to hail to the never-ending Henrik Dynasty. And by 2022, it'll be back in business. But anyway, with all that out of the way, it's time to take a look at the chase points entering Dega next week. So here are the Truck Series points entering Talladega, the cutoff race. So entering Talladega, there are 7 spots up for grabs between 9 drivers. So Creed, he's pretty safe on points at 52 points. He just needs a couple stage points and he's pretty much in. So I think Creed is safe. Moffitt, he needs just a few stage points and he's pretty much safe too. I have Moffitt pretty much in too. Smith and Enfinger, if they can get enough stage points, they're pretty much safe too. I think those 4 are pretty safe too. Unless they get caught unless the big one happens early and they get caught in it, that's the only way I can see them possibly falling out. But after Ankrum on down is when it gets interesting. So Ankrum and Crafton, 15 points above the cutoff line. They just need to have a solid day, stay out of trouble, and they're safe. They just need to avoid the big one. Eckes, he needs to have a solid run or hope Rhodes and Gillen get caught in the big one. Rhodes, he needs to have a solid run and hope Eckes has issues or Eckes gets caught in a big one or somebody above him getting a big one. And Gillen, he needs help. Gillen needs to either win the race or he needs a solid run and hope Eckes or Rhodes or Crafton or Ankrum all end up in the big one. And the Gillen can take advantage. Gonna be an interesting race. And we've seen before at Dega, no points gap is safe. Nobody is safe. So yeah, that's the truck point. Xfinity points. So Briscoe's the only driver safe entering Dega in the Charlotte Roval. So Cindric, he's 53 points above off the cutoff line. If Cindric can have a solid point stay at Dega, he can lock himself on points into the round of 8. Gregson, he can also have a chance to lock himself in if he can have a solid point stay too, or make himself safe entering the Roval. Allgaier, has a pretty good points cushion too. You know, but Haley on down, that's when it gets interesting. Haley, 14 points above the cutoff line. But keep in mind, Haley is really good on the super speedways. He even won twice this year on the super speedways. You also got Brandon Jones, who's 13 points. He needs to have a solid run entering at Dega. Ryan Sieg, who's a pretty good underrated dark horse at the super speedways. He could have a solid run at Dega and help himself entering the Roval. And he got Harrison Byrne in the 8th and final spot, 2 points above the cutoff line. Chastain, 2 points below the cutoff line, but we know Chastain's really good on the super speedways. So good chance Chastain could be above the cutoff line after Dega. Michael Annett, he's okay on super speedways. If he has a solid day and hopes some drivers ahead of him have issues, he could be above the cutoff line after Dega. Herbst is terrible. I think Herbst continues to dig himself into a further hole. You know, Brandon Brown, well, usually at super speedways, it's a level playing field, so maybe if Brandon Brown could have a solid points day, and a couple of drivers have issues, he could do something here. But this is a crapmobile car, so not expecting much. So yeah, it'll be interesting entering Talladega, what happens. And then the cut points. So Kevin Harvick, he enters this race 61 points above the cutoff line. Hamlin enters 58 points above the cutoff line. So those two are the only drivers in the field right now that can have a bad finish at Dega and still be pretty safe entering the Roval. But everyone else on down is up for grabs. Keselowski only 16 points above the cutoff line, but keep in mind, Keselowski is a really good plate driver, so don't count him out on these tracks. Martin Truex Jr., 15 points above the cutoff line, just needs to have a solid run. He just needs to keep running solid, and he's good. Logano, 11 points above the cutoff line. You know, if he can stay clear of Kyle Busch and just do what he does at plate tracks, he can give himself a good cushion entering the Roval. Chase Elliott, 10 points above the cutoff line, but Chase Elliott's also good, pretty solid on the super speedways too. So yeah, Chase Elliott can use Talladega to have a solid run there too. Alex Bowman, he's pretty solid at the super speedways too. Just hasn't been able to get the win there yet. So yeah, maybe Bowman can have a solid run there too. And then you got Kyle Busch, 9 points below the cutoff line. You know, Kyle Busch needs to have a good run here, but we've seen the last couple years Kyle Busch has struggled at Talladega. And, you know, I feel like that history could repeat itself, and this could put Kyle Busch in a hole. And then you got Clint Bowyer, 20 points below the cutoff line. Bowyer needs to have a good run at Dega and hope some drivers have issues or get caught in the big one. Same deal with Almirola, but Almirola, don't count him out. Almirola is really solid at the super speedways too. Both his career wins have come on super speedways, so don't count him out yet. And you got Austin Dillon, 32 points above the cutoff line. Austin Dillon needs a lot of help. You know, but Austin Dillon, he has some good history at the super speedways. He won the 2018 Daytona 500. So I wouldn't count him out yet. At least, like I said before, no gap is safe. Unless you're Harvick or Hamlin. Then you two are pretty much safe. But yeah, going to be an interesting wildcard race at Talladega next week. So yeah, and also I forgot to mention, IndyCar also comes back next week with the doubleheader at the Indy Roval. So yeah, as we're closing in to the end of the IndyCar season. But yeah, folks, that's all I got to say. Well, Brent was a great day, and yeah. Hail the new C-Rad.